Radio now 95.3 FM Lagos. I'm Zainab Balogun Olowu. This evening on The Big Story, we'll be taking a look at security. And so we'll begin in Zamfara State, where tragedy struck again as bandits abducted no fewer than 40 worshippers from a mosque in Gidan Tobi village during early morning prayers on Monday. This is coming barely 24 hours after 12 other persons were kidnapped in Bukoyum local government area. Now, the attack comes at a time when neighboring Katsina State has been pursuing peace deals with alleged repentant bandits. Both incidents occurred at a time, like I said, this neighboring Katsina have entered peace deals with, this, you call them armed groups, some are saying repentant bandits. But this deal, they're saying, is a way of addressing the spate of attacks, killings, and abductions in their various communities. The special assistant to the governor of Zamfara, Dauda Lawal, on broadcast media, Mr. Mustafa Jafaru Kauru, has called on the federal government to deploy soldiers as it did during the recent elections, that's the by-elections, accusing security personnel of being unable to act without clearance from Abuja, even as citizens remain under siege. So today on The Big Story, we ask, can this peace pact truly end banditry in the Northwest? Or are they simply buying time for groups that continue to terrorize rural communities? We'll hear directly from Zamfara on the latest attack and from Katsina, where communities are, testing this approach of negotiating with bandits. But before I introduce my guests, let's take a listen to residents of Katsina from Matazu and Kankara local government areas on this new peace deal with the bandits.
My name is Tanjuma Haruna from Kankar local government. There was a peace agreement with bandits in Kankar local government. They brought their demands to the Katsina state government. They want the government to build schools in their villages and build a hospital for them. We can say that about 30% of peace has returned. The residents of Kankara are calling on the present administration to listen to these people because they are also citizens of Katsina State and to provide social amenities in their villages because their education and well-being are important too. The bandit also demanded that the government should create grazing routes where they can rear their cattle. And we call on the governor of Katsina State, Dr. Umar Dukwarada, to consider their demands and come to our aid. We are not happy with the killings in the area. We are all humans. He should please consider this. Because people who do not live here will never understand what we go through. We are pleading with the governor and his cabinet to listen to their demand and help us address this challenge. It is important for them to have a health facility, a school, and a grazing route. We hope fulfilling these demands will bring lasting peace to this area. May God bring peace and unity. May the bandits repent and stop terrorizing us.
My
name is Muazu Ibrahim from Matazu local government. Yes, there was a peace deal with the bandits in our local government, and after the peace agreement, peace has returned. We experienced attacks from bandits before the peace agreement, but now there is relative peace in the area. Also, the government has been doing its best to end the banditry. Although there were few attacks on some villages, they were not as frequent as they used to be. Despite the peace agreement, the government is still doing its best to bring peace. Before this deal, the bandits came to our area once in a while. They usually came here 3 to 4 times a month, but now you hardly see them in a month. But every time they storm this area, they kill people even on the farm, and soldiers respond to the attacks and neutralize dozens of them, even though we do not have the exact figure of the neutralized bandits during the attacks. But I know for sure a lot of them have been killed.
And so you listen to the residents. Now I'll be introducing my guest. I have journalist and public affairs commentator who knows the terrain in Katsina, Mr. Garba Dangida. Good evening, Mr. Dangida. It's great to have you on the program.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us. We also have a journalist in Zamfara State, Mr. Ibrahim Tuku Anka. It's great to have you, Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Nice to have you very much.
All right. It's great to have you. Thank you. So let me begin with you, Mr. Ibrahim. If you could just walk us through what happened during that mosque attack in Gidantubi village. What really led to the attack? How did that attack happen? How many were kidnapped? Some are saying 43, 40, thereabout. And, just walk us through what really happened.
All right. Thank you very much. Actually,
Mr. Ibrahim, are you there? Okay. Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me? Okay, I think maybe we'll try to reconnect. You could understand from Zamfara and maybe the network issue. But yeah, we'll come back to Mr. we have Mr. Dangida. We'll come back to Mr. Ibrahim. I just wanted us to have a feel as to the situation there. But let me take it to Mr. Dangida on this. I don't know if you heard about that attack in Zamfara where they talked about, 40 worshippers who were abducted. This happened early in the morning. During the early morning prayers. This happened yesterday. And they're even saying this is barely 24 hours after there was one abduction in Bukuyum local government area. Now, we know about the peace deal in Katsina. We know that, it's a neighboring, it's a neighboring state, it's a neighboring areas. For you, do you think maybe this fresh abduction is a consequence, right? As a result of the peace deal that happened in Katsina. And so we're seeing them, this fresh abductions happen in Zamfara. What's your thoughts on that situation?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Dangida.
Yeah, you see, let me start by blaming the federal government on this insecurity in the northern part of the country generally. We have to be frank and straightforward. You see, if government can engage 30,000, I had been saying it, because there will never be justice, there will never be peace without justice. We voted the government with the hope that we shall be protected. If Buhari, may his soul rest in peace and may Allah forgive his shortcomings, we have him as a president, and for 8 years, we even became worst hit in terms of insecurity, economic backwardness, and so many other things. The two number that we feel, which we were thinking that is a window of hope, we thought that by now it could have been history. We don't need anything. We are very rich. The northern part of the country is a very rich region. And God has graciously blessed us with human resources. So I think this issue of another attack after a reconciliation, which I don't know whether it was done with sincerity and it is well planned. Because white man, they say what it was doing well. I mean, you cannot arrange just quickly a reconciliation on a very, very sensitive issue affecting lives and property. If it is politics, I mean, it is a very dangerous politics of human life. I mean, this Zamfara, in particular, especially where this attack happened immediately after the reconciliation between the bandits and maybe government people. I mean, people should not forget that Zamfara had, or rather have, a serving minister of defense, who is with the ruling party. And then the governor, the current governor, is in the opposition. And on record, there had been so many misunderstandings, quarrel, exposure to public ridicule, and what have you, between the two of them, forgetting the sensitive issue that is affecting their state. Although, political criminals have bastardized patriotism and our unity. But when it comes to human life, you should forget about all those local politics. Deep-rooted hatred between the two of them or among their supporters. They should face it squarely. Forget about whatever happened. Let them sit down and plan it well. What is also doing well. It should be properly planned before they do it, but not just to call Ado Aleru, discuss with him. Those people, even Aleru, and what they call him, and all other people, including Sheikh that was killed, they were all looking for peace.
All right, Mr. Dangida, I'll come back to you because some persons have said maybe the politics aspect, ruling party, opposition party, but Katsina too, that has always been experiencing this, and with that attack, we also talked about on the mosque, 32 persons that were killed. We'll say that the governor is in the APC. So is it really about politics? Because if we are looking at the ruling party, but we're still seeing those attacks in Katsina, and that's what I'm saying. Is it as a result of the consequence? Because it seems Zamfara did not, enter that peace deal like Katsina did. Is that why we're seeing this attack now, increase in Zamfara? But we have Mr. Ibrahim back. So let's let him walk us through what really happened, and I'll come back to you. Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to apologize for the glitch of network.
No
It's a rainy here.
We understand the technology. So yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, now, what I said earlier is that actually it will be difficult for us to have the exact number of the people that lost their life during this arrest and attack, honestly, because social media has spoiled everything now. And the actual data I can say we have from our own side is the 43 actually, but people are just making it to be politics. I'm sorry to say, nowadays has come to say that politics will define everything, especially this issue of security in Zamfara State. Both the people in the state, those that are in politics space, are just helping the politicians in making sure that they politicize everything. I don't know why, but honestly speaking, our people contributed toward having not exact number or exact data of all the attacks that we are having. It's just that people are trying. But honestly, because from the side of the state government, most of the times they are trying to make it clear that this is the exact figure, because we all know that the state government is working tirelessly. I'm not saying this, or I'm not trying to be biased or sentiment, but it's something that is clearly open to all of us. We know it because when this government come into power, the security situation in Zamfara State is one of their priority, and we can all say from all indications and from what we have seen now on ground that this government mean the business. Talking about the support that the state government, which is Zamfara State precisely, yes, looking at the support that Zamfara State government is given to those people responsible for the protecting the lives and properties of the people in Zamfara State, which is the Land Army, the Air Force, the DSS, and other security agencies that is responsible for that. We all clearly understand that the state government is trying their best in making sure that they give their own support. So there is no way for a state government to hide the accurate data of all the victims or the people that lost their life or all the attack going on in Zamfara State.
Okay,
but
Mr.
I would
Ibrahim,
just say rather.
So you
Yes.
say at 43, and maybe we put it at that because that's what we've been seeing, 43, 40. We're seeing 55 because they're also adding the Bukuyum abduction, and you could also confirm that if there was an abduction there, which is in less than 24 hours, to this other abduction. But I'm saying, what really happened? What led to this abduction? Was there something that happened that we saw this person's abducted? Could you just walk us through? When was it really early in the morning? Yeah. And what the situation is right now, as demands been made as to these persons that have been abducted.
Okay, now looking or considering the fact finding, now I understand that in Zamfara State, whenever there is a demand from either the bandit or the government, then you will see the frequent attack going on. That's if they have demand from the people. Now we all understand that this frequent attack that is going on in the Zamfara State, it has nothing to do than the dialogue. That's the peace that this bandit want with the government. Now, if government is not ready to accept the peace or is not ready to accept the dialogue or embrace the dialogue, which is the consensus, then this bandit will not rest to make sure that they keep on attacking people day in, day out unnecessarily. The heartless killing, the abduction, that's the kidnapping, and what have you. These people will not rest on to do that. Why? Because they clearly show this is what they want. That is the dialogue. And we all know that the government is not ready for it. And I'm very sure that the government have our own reason why not to embrace dialogue or why it's not ready to go in with any consensus with the bandits.
Okay.
I can say from my own, I have one or two things to say on that issue or on that regard. Okay. Why government is not ready for.
Okay, so maybe we'll come to that. But you said they are making some demands. Maybe they are making demands. They are trying to dialogue. They want, peace, and that's why maybe this has happened. So have they said really what exactly they want? Are you privy to what these bandits are actually asking for? And what the government is saying? Okay, no, we cannot do. Or we're not going to negotiate with you.
Yes, for now they only want freedom because they are living in the bush. They have the money. They have everything. But they don't have, the life enjoyment, the free of life, because they are there inside bush. Some of them are sleeping on top of trees, So after everything now, they see they have nowhere to go. They have everything they want. For how many decades now? These people have been abduction people, demanding for ransom. They have the money, and the money have started decaying. And now what they want is for them to be free, like everybody, to be going around everywhere they want to go after all the heartless killing, after everything that they have done now. What they want is they want freedom. That's the only thing they want, because I don't know what these people want apart from that.
Okay, because I have to go back to Mr. Dangida now. For Zamfara, did they enter any peace deal? Remember in 2019? Mr. Ibrahim, so sorry to interrupt here because of time. We also need to manage time. Did Zamfara enter any peace deal? I'm talking about community leaders. The state government might not be in the know, but we see community leaders like we've seen in Katsina. Is there any area that they entered peace negotiations deal with, these bandits?
Yes, it happened in Shinkafi. We all know that these people in Shinkafi, there is a community peace building in Shinkafi local government area. And these people have sat down several times, some with that number, with this bandit. Even now, without the concept of the state government, the community leaders have engaged into dialogue with bandits in Shinkafi local government without the concept of the government, because they feel that the government cannot protect their lives and their properties against these criminals. So they have nothing but dialogue. So Shinkafi did the same, but unfortunately, the bandits cannot keep up to their promises. They break the peace deal that they have between them and the community of Shinkafi local government.
And so they attacked Shinkafi.
Not this attack, not the recent attack. I said before now, this is one of the things, because you said, is there any community that engage into peace, into any dialogue with the bandit? I say yes. It happens in Shinkafi local government.
So did the attack reduce in that local government? Did they keep to the end of their bargain? Did it reduce? I mean, just to get that before I come back. Okay.
We cannot say it bring the end of the banditry activities in Shinkafi local government. Up to now, there's an attack going on every time. Most of the times, in the Zamfara North, this is one of the region, is one of the zone that face frequent attack from bandit, which Shinkafi precisely is one, because 3G happens to have numbers of camps in Shinkafi local government. So we have a lot of camps which you might engage into peace, deal with these gang or with this camp, and another camp will now terrorize another community, and they do peace building, peace deal with them, and another gang will now terrorize. And the problem now is, I don't know what exactly these people want, because even Katsina State, their own problem is they need shelters, they need hospital, they need market, they need school, they need if this is what they want. Now I can believe that in Zamfara State in 2019, during former governor of Zamfara State, the current Minister of Defense, he embraced peace. He called them for dialogue and he sat down with them several times. And among the demand of this bandit is that they need the same thing that these people want from Katsina State. Now this man take billions of naira to construct a Buka settlement for them, so that where they can have hospitals, where they can have market, where they can have all their basic needs. But these people later on...
Mr. Ibrahim, I'll let you land on your thoughts. Later on, what?
Yes, later on, these people break the promises.
Okay.
Because even after...
Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, I'll come back to you because of time. Let me take you back to Mr. Dangida on this now. Mr. Dangida, Katsina, in fact, they said August 28th, was it Kofi local government, they met with these armed groups, they had a peace deal. And then last Saturday, they also signed a peace pact, or, they had these negotiations with these bandits. Some of these bandits are said to be some on the wanted list. Some persons who they even said were part of these attacks on Malumfashi local government area. These people were at that negotiation deal. Can you, I don't know if you're privy to the information, but what exactly was the terms and conditions of this deal? What did the bandits want? What did the government, also agree to? And when we talk about, okay, I think I'll just let you answer that. Let's start from there.
I don't work for government. I'm not close to them, so I wouldn't know. But what I know, the challenges of Zamfara and Sokoto State are not as much like in Katsina State, because the governor has been trying his best, and we can commend him for being open to correction, and he accepts constructive criticism in good faith. And definitely, if I can still repeat, it has become this insecurity has been like an enterprise right from northeast before it even migrated. There was this season of migration to the northwest, and now we are suffering. But the governor of Katsina State has done his best, as he has been on and off every day trying to find a way to get this problem solved. To the extent of gathering stakeholders, which we read in the news, definitely, and they have given him advices. That's why he even opted for the negotiation, because I was among the people who really criticized him when he said he was not ready to cooperate or negotiate with any bandit. And definitely, even the sophisticated, modern countries like Americans, at one time negotiated with the Taliban. So there is no way you can see your people in trouble, in object poverty, with a serious problem. And then you cannot. You say you will not negotiate with the bandits, because, and again, where the federal government will be blamed if trackers, maybe if we can track vehicles, stolen vehicles, and track handsets, stolen handsets, I can see no reason why we cannot track the number, the phone numbers of this maybe what they call it bandits, and or rather kidnappers and their victims. You see? So that is another problem. That's why I said there will never be peace without justice. There is no sincerity in the minds of a lot of leaders. That is why I said there are so many stakeholders, there are so many beneficiaries on this. That's why it is becoming extremely difficult. Practically difficult or almost impossible to get rid of.
Okay.
Because,
Mr. Dangida, so if they enter these peace deals, do you think that actually brings peace? From what Mr. Ibrahim is saying, right? He's saying, you can enter this peace deal with these bandits, but another set of bandits that you did not enter this peace deal with would now come and attack. Now, some you enter this peace deal, they now leave your state to a neighboring state. So let's say the neighboring state to enters a peace deal, you leave to another state. Then what then happens next? Or when you enter with one bandit and you do not enter with the others, so how exactly would this actually bring peace to the country, to these states where they are experiencing this? There was one of the bandits, that spoke. I mean, so many of them, and if you saw them at this last Saturday peace pact, and one said that you continue to say Fulani headsmen, or they are the ones carrying out the attack, and he said, which tribe in the world does not have criminals among them? I think his name is Gawa Kwashe or something. He said this would not end until you stop killing the Fulanis, and because he was saying, well, are you saying that you don't have criminals in the other tribes? Now some others were like, no problem, this will end as long as we're able to access the market, we can move freely, and the rest of it. So would we say you can actually negotiate with these bandits and to actually bring peace to the community? Or, just like you said, maybe on the part of the government, they just need to do more to track these bandits and bring justice? Which is the way to go?
Okay. On record, have you ever had any, especially people who have legal and illegal mining sites, have you ever had bandits attacking or maybe abducting the miners, illegal and legal? So how can miners, legal and illegal, be doing their businesses without being attacked, abducted, while farmers cannot go to their farms and come back peacefully? I mean, there will never be smoke without fire. So let us be frank and straightforward on this issue. Once there is a well-planned negotiation, well-planned meeting, especially with stakeholders. In Katsina State, we have a historic reputation of reputable personalities that became excellent administrators in the country. They have made history. I mean, when they were invited for the meeting, at least we are now witnessing or seeing appreciable results. Because when you are looking for a solution, look for expert advice. Just like the Amok Takun, before they set up, how many years they spent going around talking to stakeholders before it was set up. It's not like our own that was just set up just like that. A traditional ruler was brutally murdered. Why the state government could not rescue him? The government has enough money. They have the connection. They have the way of. They have every other means to talk to him. That's Sarkim Gobir. He was brutally murdered, and he has been appealing. It was televised. I mean, when we are crying, the eyes should be seen. We have to be very frank on this issue. If they want to do it, Nigerians have made history. The Nigerian military have made history. Even the law enforcement agents have made history in the past. After all, we have been going for peacekeeping in different countries where there were crises, and we made history over there. So if we can travel out of the country to send our law enforcement agents to restore peace in foreign countries, and we cannot do it in our country, that means something is definitely wrong.
Yeah.
So that's why I call it an enterprise, and that's why it almost there are so many. We are almost all of us are morally guilty. A shop owner may not even know that he is selling maybe his food stuff for bandits. He doesn't know because of so many stakeholders that are involved. A lot of beneficiaries, especially the law enforcement agents.
So,
they don't receive their, what they call it, their allowance. They are still there. What are they doing?
So, Mr.
Then
Dengida,
why should vigilante and this NSAK are now succeeding more than the law enforcement agents, the trained law enforcement agents?
okay.
Why? Something is definitely wrong.
So it's more about the will, political will on their part again, the security operatives doing what they have to do rather than negotiating. Because we just want to know, is it negotiating with them, do you need to come to terms with, some of the things they say, and you would see peace restored? Because some claimed, like, some of the persons that spoke said, well, we've seen reduction in attacks. Maybe normally they will come twice in a month, thrice in a month. In a month we might not see, maybe in a month we might see one, it has reduced. But it's maybe increasing some other communities in that same state. So how many people can you negotiate with? So the question now is, they've come with this peace pact in Katsina. That was last Saturday, and maybe we'll see how it also goes. But now we're seeing it skyrocket in Zamfara, and some persons have said you cannot enter in Katsina and not enter in, and you will not do in Zamfara because these are neighboring areas. So that's why I'm saying, what's the way to go? Is it military action? Is it dialogue, with these bandits, or do you think it is something different entirely? Before I
on record, an Islamic scholar, Sheikh Gumi, and Professor Yusuf Usman went inside the villages, took rest, inside the forest, met the leaders. They preached to them. Some of them, cooperated, and we saw on record more than 1,000 surrendered, and they kept, dropped their arms. But because at that time, we have to say the naked truth. Erfai was so arrogant, he refused to negotiate. And look at how Kaduna was worst hit at that time. It may be perhaps because of a local politics or problem between him and Gumi or something like that, Sheikh Gumi. But at least this is human life we are talking about. Human life. Okay. All these things should be forgotten. He was close to the government. He can negotiate, arrange for whatever. Since practical evidence was there that people surrendered more than 1,000. That's how they went back, and then we started hearing about 10 attacks, so many things. We're even lucky they are not as terrible as Boko Haram that were attacking government facilities. Okay. And we lost a lot of bombs everywhere. But the biggest injustice these kidnappers are doing, maybe to be attacking innocent citizens, the helpless masses that are in a lamentable state of limbo, adding more salt in the wound. So government has to do something. It is a collective responsibility. That's why I always say, how can government engage more than 30 to 50,000 law enforcement agencies just for elections, and they cannot do something to rescue this thing? And the traditional rulers have a critical role to play. They know no traditional ruler will not have a representative, no matter how remote a place is. Okay. And they have other places where because they have this synergy more than the law enforcement agents. They have that synergy because they cooperate themselves. They know all these bandits. They know their parents.
All right.
So if you engage the traditional rulers plus the Islamic or rather religious clerics, that these people listen to them, even the helpless masses listen to them, and then you use diplomacy. Because if Americans can negotiate with Taliban, I see no reason why our government cannot negotiate. Is it not because of the mineral resources? Why can't the government talk to the suspected, what they call in foreign countries that are being suspected behind this calamity?
All right.
Why can't they discuss with them?
Mr. Dangida,
let them come and take 70% of the mineral resources and leave us with 30%. Let us rebuild our nation.
All right, Mr. Dangida, let me take it back to Mr. Ibrahim, because what some persons will say, even the Taliban, they're still there. These bandits as well, they'll say, how can you trust them? You negotiate with them, maybe you give them what they want. At the end of the day, you might see these people go back to take up these arms, even after they've said they have repented. So what then happens next, right? When they start to, abduct persons and kill persons again. So what really is the way forward? So I'll take it to Mr. Ibrahim, because in 2019, Mr. Bele Matwali actually entered, a peace deal with these bandits. And it was said that, there was reduction in attacks. In 2022, what's his name? Alero was turban sacking Fulani of Yandoto Emirates, thereabout in 2022, but later it was suspended. We were seeing attacks again. So your thoughts on that situation? Do you think that as Katsina entered that peace deal, do you think that Zamfara should have entered as well? Maybe you'd see, the reduction in attacks, or like you said, you wanted to shed more light on why maybe the government doesn't want to. Do you think that's the best way to go?
Okay, now thank you very much. Before I can be able to see my opinion on is the government to accept the dialogue or not. Now let's look at the analysis. And now, if you talked about this particular terrorists that are terrorizing people, if you talked about their need, now you sit down and ask yourself, what exactly does they need from the government? Maybe from the people or communities. They said they are human being like everybody. They are entitled to have whatever somebody from the urban or rural areas should get. Now, talking about how we are now before of insecurity. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Now,
you.
talking about before we have this experience of insurgencies, when we were sitting peacefully, what exactly these people have before that they don't have it now? Yes, quite all right. We must say that there is something behind this issue of insecurity, especially in Zamfara State. Now, let's take this issue of mining as an example. Most of the places that mining is taking place in Zamfara State is some of the areas that these people dominated. Now, let's take Anka local government as example. In Anka local government, they have a mining site where people that are into artisan mining are there every day, every night. Now, these bandits have started kidnapping people from nowhere, demanding for ransom. Suddenly, people have started paying ransom to rescue their family, the hostages that are with them. Now it goes to the extent that people doesn't have money anymore to rescue their people whenever they kidnap them. Since we have mineral resources and they are the people that dominated most of the places that the people that do mining are, now they can utilize the resources and allow people to live peacefully, to live with their two eyes closed. Because if there is money they want, this is where they can get the money. Now, my brother is one of the victims because when they were kidnapped, they were asked to do mining. They were given hole to dig for gold for bandits. They will take them inside bush where there is a gold and ask them to do mining for them. Whenever they get this thing for them, after they finish, they will now give them something and take them back to their places. That means they have another sources that they can get something to do for themselves, which I can believe by that time there is a reduction of abductions in Anka local government because most of the bandits their mind have taken to a mining site. People have started sleeping with their two eyes closed. Suddenly, federal government said they banned mining in Zamfara State. That is how troops and everything were deployed to make sure that nobody is doing mining because they think mining is the factor that lead to most of the insecurities in Zamfara State or maybe Anka local government precisely. As that goes on, these people come back with their attacks, fresh attacks, that there is no more mining in Zamfara State. Then suddenly, federal government said it lifted the ban of the mining, and now these people still go back. Before this bandit kingpin were killed, Alilu Sobobu, we all know that if you go to one company, that is where most of the people doing mining in the Anka local government are located at. That is where they have all the world where people are doing mining for them. Okay. Some of them even have machines that can do mining for them. We all believe they allow people to rest. But now, what led to the recent attacks, the frequent attacks of people in Anka village? If it's about money, if it is about wealth, it is about whatever, they have it in the bush. Now they come back because they want dialogue. My problem is now, it's not about accepting the dialogue. Will these people accept the dialogue wholeheartedly for the sake of Allah and for the sake of peace and unity in Zamfara State and Nigeria at large? Because we don't understand what is their problem, what exactly they need from people.
Okay. So sorry about your brother, Mr. Ibrahim. And has he been released or has he been released now? Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me? Okay.
Because they used to give them hard drugs before they can be able to enter this.
Mr. Ibrahim, I don't know if you
yes.
can hear me because we're out of wrap up now. We're out of time. I said, has your brother been released? I was asking that.
Yes, he was released.
All right, thank God for that. And so, in 30 seconds, if you may, right? What are the people of Zamfara saying? Would they have preferred that, they negotiated with this bandits, maybe come to terms like what Katsina has done? Do you think maybe that's why you're seeing this fresh abductions again in the state? Or do people think that they just need security from the government, even the state government on their own part, because, they have their Zamfara Guard Corps as well, and, talking about security operatives also doing their job. What exactly do the people of Zamfara want?
Yes, the problem is now people of Zamfara still will not trust bandits again, even if they accept peace with them, deal with them. They will not trust them again. Because I said it happens in Shinkafi. People of Shinkafi local government, they are into peace deal with these people.
All right.
Some of them, there was a time. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but we're totally out of time. I think we've been able to get something from what you have said, especially, saying Shinkafi, and probably they won't trust them again. Well, thank you so much for your insight into this discussion, Mr. Ibrahim Tuko Anka, journalist in Zamfara State. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garuba Dangida, journalist and public affairs commentator. The terrain in Katsina, and so we do appreciate your expertise on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Okay. And that's been the conversation today on The Big Story. We'll take some messages so you can join me on the round table.
Since 1894, we've witnessed the evolution of a nation and proudly partner with its people on their path to prosperity. From the ink-stained ledgers to fast transactions, First Bank has consistently adapted, embracing innovation and making giant strides across the globe. It's not just about banking, it's about enabling your success. Generation